The impasse between the president and the Speaker of Parliament. We have a story here on citinewsroom.com. It says here, impasse between Akufo-Addo Bagbin can adversely impact economy. And I want to read that briefly for you. It says here, founder and CEO of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, has expressed concerns about the recent rift between President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, over the anti-gay bill. Now, the president, in a recent letter to Parliament, requested them to desist from transmitting the anti-LGBTQ plus bill for his assent, citing court issues. Speaker retaliated by suspending the approval of new ministers. During an interview on the big issue on Citi TV, Mr. Kujo expressed the fear that the impasse between the executive and the legislature could adversely impact the economy. Now, we are economically saddled. If we don't talk about gay issues, won't we eat? My only worry is that the impasse could have certain tolls on the economy and the government process. But indeed, we should learn and be wiser out of this particular care if we manage to get through it, he pointed out. Now, he emphasized the need for the government to ensure that the impact of the impasse on citizens is mitigated. The economy, I quote, the impacts on individual rights and indeed anything that we thought may be impacted by this particular anti-gay bill. When we heard that the finance minister wrote a letter to the president saying to stay your hands because this may have implications economically, I was worried because I asked myself, what were the considerations? And the quote ends there. All right, so let me start with you, Paul, on this. Franklin says there could be economic impacts on the impasse. There are two things I'm looking at here. First of all, this stance that has, taken the executive on one hand, the legislature on the other hand, it's like, if you scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you won't scratch my back, then forget it. I'm not scratching yours. Kind of situation that has come. Well, that in itself, and then also, is there actual potential impact economically, or it's much ado about nothing?
Well, thank you very much, Kweku, and once again, good morning to our viewers. If anybody out there would think that whatever the impasse between Parliament and the executive, or better, the legislature and the executive, will not have some form of consequences on the economy, must wake up and smell the coffee. You see, Parliament, at the end of the day, will have to approve whatever the government intends, to do. All right, we have loans that are pending in Parliament to be approved.
Yeah.
And where you have this, issue between the executive arm of government and the legislature, then there's a problem. All right, if Parliament, on the other hand, is refusing to, as it were, approve nominees of the president, and then secondly, to also approve loans, it will have dire consequences on the economy. Already, the country is broke. All right, we need all the revenues that we can amass to stabilize the economy. And so where you have this impasse, it's a huge problem. Now let's delve into the issue. We have three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, one must not be seen to usurp the powers of the other. All must work in tandem to achieve one common goal, and that is to making sure the welfare of the ordinary Ghanaian is protected, right?
Yeah.
There was a bill that was submitted to Parliament, and this was a private member's bill. I'm trying to give us the genesis of this whole impasse, all right? And the bill was submitted to Parliament. The clerk's table received it, and the first reading stage was held. In fact, it went through almost all the various stages that it had to go through. And at the end of the day, on the 28th of February somewhere, it was approved. And guess the unique part of it, it was a unanimous approval. It was not as though the minority was on one side and then the majority was on another side. It was unanimous. And where the speaker even requested that if there's any member in the House who is not in favor, in fact, the entire place was as though, in fact, it was like a cemetery.
Yeah, a pin drop. Yeah.
You understand? And that should tell you how Ghanaians appreciate the bill. And so, even before Parliament will be done with the draft and then submit same to the presidency, and the president had come out to say that an individual had gone to court to seek
over the issue.
Yes, an injunction, whether perpetual or interlocutory, we didn't know. But all he said was that there was an injunction, and so we needed to hold our horses until there's a final determination of the case at the Supreme Court. Be that as it may, the president is right to have said that. However, let's also ask ourselves, what sort of relief was the person seeking? Was it just an interlocutory injunction, or there were other reliefs? We did not even know who the person is. But time and time again, we've come to the realization or the knowledge that it was our own brother, the last guy, and then Amanda Odoi. When was the case actually filed in Parliament? In the court, at the Supreme Court? And when was the president served? Mind you, the relief they were seeking was an injunction or an interlocutory injunction on the speaker or the clerk to Parliament to transmitting the bill to the president.
That
was the relief.
Okay.
We did not even know who the person is or was. It was just recently we got to know it is Richard Delaskai, whose relief was expressly clear. We also did not know that of Amanda. It was until recently that the Attorney General came out that it has also been said, same. And that is why it went, or the Attorney General went ahead to advise the President not to assent to the bill, or better, not to even receive. But shouldn't you have left that to the Parliament to deal with it? When the clerk's table received the bill from the drafts department, it means that they were done with all the arrangements that needed to be done, all the amendments that the bill went through had all been done, all right, before finally it was submitted to the clerk. And the clerk also verified, signed, and they submitted same to the speaker, who then also, assented and said, yes, it is a true reflection of the various, amendments that the bill went through. And so the clerk should go ahead and submit to the president. And guess how many times he tried? The clerk tried 3 times to submit the bill to the president. And on each time that, at each time that the clerk went to the presidency, he was denied access. Before eventually Nana Asante Bediatu came out with the release, all right, that the president is not receiving the bill because there's a pending case at the court. But by way of education, I still want to ask, was it a perpetual injunction that the people were seeking for at the Supreme Court, or it was just an interlocutory injunction?
It appears to have been an interlocutory injunction.
If it's an interlocutory injunction by itself, it could be just dismissed by the court.
Yeah, but even beyond that, part of the reliefs, and I don't know Amanda's case, but part of the reliefs that Sky was seeking. Was to restrain the president from assenting, not to receive.
Oh.
There was no restraint or for transmission or restraint to receive the bill. It was from assenting. Do you see? And so for me, a lot of questions that come to my mind is, what's the challenge here? Because the president can well receive it and not assent to it.
That's all.
You know, but then even that one, the law does make provision for the president not assenting to bills by stating his reasons. That if he doesn't want to assent to it, he isn't obliged to. He can state his reasons, I will not assent, like he did in the witchcraft bill.
You see, there's a bit of a pick and choose, especially with this particular bill. And one wonders really what's going on. But because of the economic implications this bill has, that, to me, is perhaps the reason why the president is a bit hesitant. And that is also because, look, our economy needs the money. The IMF, thing, the World Bank, they need all of this. And the moment you attempt to associate yourself with the bill, then
what
then the implications also come in.
Receiving?
We all know. We all know. What is it? 2.8, 3.8 billion.
Yeah, but you see, okay, so Jeffrey, I'll bring you in shortly, but let me just give you a case in point. Uganda passed their bill last year.
Thank you.
Right. But they also received their tranche from the IMF after the bill was passed. And there was no problem with how much money they were expecting to receive from the IMF. They received it. You see. So, and guess what? Their bill prescribes 20-year imprisonments as well as capital punishment. We don't even have capital punishment anymore. 20-year imprisonment for promoting and capital punishment. So theirs is far more draconian than ours. So the question again comes, what are we worried about?
You see, I think that we are not, it's more or less attempting to throw dust in the eyes of Ghanaians, all right? We are making it seem as though it is the IMF and the World Bank that we are afraid of.
Yeah.
And so we are a bit hesitant to, go ahead, in making the bill a law.
Yeah.
But again, I understand where you are coming from. Where lies our fears?
Yeah.
Maybe there is more to it than we know. Because if it is just the IMF bill, the IMF loan and the World Bank, then believe you me, we have no case at all. Look, just 3 years and 5 years should not even warrant, the coming in of the IMF or the World Bank. Anyway. And you have somebody prescribing 20 years and far more harsher punishments than you have. And you are afraid of a loan you are seeking for something you are going to repay in the long run. Come on, Ghana. Come on.
Kabutey, your thoughts?
This whole banter between the presidency and the parliament leadership is, the speaker and the president, very unfortunate, especially when they are two old friends. They both were MPs at a point in time. The main issue is a matter of overly reliance on foreign support. See, I don't know the kind of friends you made, but I made rich friends, but none could determine for me. My friends know me for that. I'll tell you my mind. My brother, your father can be the richest man in the world. So as long as you are my friend, I will tell you my mind. What makes me me is me. Look, I ever remember we were eating at a place and a friend who bought the food made a comment. I left. I washed my hands and left. If you know Cape Coast very solid.
Yes,
we don't joke with Solis Fufu. I washed my hands and left. I'm just not making basic of this issue. I'm saying this is how basic it starts. Right from home through church, everywhere. Dignity. Your pride is all you have. Your ego. Don't throw it away. Your religion, your culture. Look, let's not start it. The economic impact is only a needed start and the beginning of our economic nationalism that we needed to do long ago. That total liberation from from somebody's control. It is important. Kwame Nkrumah wrote about this years ago. So how did this? You know what? I've told you and I'll repeat it on this show. Our own is a thinking problem. Kwame Nkrumah was thinking. He wrote all these, that after that political independence, these people will come with all these issues to come and draw us back again and keep their claws on us. And it's playing back, you see, as if some notebook. It follows like that. It follows every day. But because of greed, we fail to see. Look, these are the impacts. It will stop progress on the loan, as they are saying. Yes, you are dealing with somebody, he has his money, he decides who to give his money to. If he says he won't come again, that be it. I see it, but I don't care. I don't care in quotes. I don't care. Yeah. During COVID, didn't you see that some of the things, they were also suffering themselves? Could they give us all the things they wanted? So that should have been a wake-up call. Look, it will affect bilateral relations. I mean, you know, diplomacy and everything. Let me tell you what, it's also important. You are my friend. You decide to go wayward. You decide to pull me in. I said no. Look, I have friends who drink alcohol. I don't have anything against drinking alcohol. But I don't drink alcohol. So you dare not. My friends dare not. And I have rules, simple rules. When you drink, don't sit in my car. You are drunk. In fact, when you are staggering, don't sit in my car. You come and vomit in my car for who to clean. I have my rules.
Your friendships don't extend that.
Look, I have my rules. You see me as a jovial, friendly person. I got my rules. Yeah. And that's how life is all about. It starts with individuals, family, it goes to nation, it goes to continent, the whole of African continent. When AU is going to take decisions, we are so scared about who is giving us support. Because we always go to friends begging, cap in hand. I remember when we were little, there were poems. Don't always go to friends cap in hand. It was a caution. When they feed you every day, they say, he who pays the piper will call the tune. Right. That's how come in the olden days they will say encore. When the guy pays the DJ, you say encore. The DJ can play the song 5 times when you are waiting for the next song.
Encore repete.
Look, this situation, okay, as we have, is going to create a tense relationship in parliament. And we know, because the majority and the minority will be rolling their heads over this. But look at the irony of it. When the question was asked, like my brother said, who is actually against the fact that the bill should go through? Nobody, not even a single soul. Because the new Ghanaians were so peeved, we were angry. We won't sell our state. Look, it will affect economic administration. Yes, it's true. Because they don't give us the money. But also let us not disrespect our culture and our religion. Yeah. We cannot throw it away. What's the way forward? Our leaders must meet, the president must meet the speaker. They should arrange and then, resolve some of these tensions. Yes. The next thing is to respect. Now that is where we have to stand on the bilateral relations and everything else. We should respect our sovereignty as a state. Every nation must respect the sovereignty of another nation, especially, my brother, and I'm repeating, especially when even in America, under their nose, not all the states agree. Not all the 52 states agree to this LGBTQ thing. So how do you leave your home and come to my house? Your son has decided that he won't worship where you worship. And you have come, that if I don't come and worship in your church, you won't feed me. Take your food. Yeah. Why? We won't eat again. Where are the arable lands? Where are the gold? The diamond? The bauxite? We are not a poor country.
The interesting thing is that as recently as 2023, Uganda received money from the IMF.
Right.
You see, when I heard you mention Uganda, I innocently you mentioned, but I was angry. Uganda. Yeah. Look at my hand very well. Uganda. Uganda.
We're coming down. We're coming down.
You are comparing Ghana to Uganda.
No, I'm just making.
Do you know the GHANA? The Ghana?
I'm just saying that the people who are afraid, who sit there and say that they are afraid,
right. We trust so down to compare ourselves to Uganda.
Oh yes, that's what it is. That's where we've gotten to. That's where we've reached.
Republic of Ghana.
Yes, that's where we've reached.
The pace setter. Yeah. the driver in the seat. Today, we don't even want to be mate. We want to be a station master.
That's where we are. That's where we are. It's unfortunate.
Look, we can't be there. We will tell them what we have to do. Look, we have to find alternative trade partners. If you are doing trade with somebody and it hurts nicely, you can tell people, look, that's the beauty of diplomacy. We can even eat and drink, and I'll tell you, Unim Bibi,
Yeah.
MYN.
Yeah.
And we can stop business and still play tennis together.
Yeah.
I ever witnessed it once in my lifetime. Two people who were tennis court mates, they stopped. One was an agent, the other one sold cars. When the unfortunate happened, yes, they stopped doing business, but they're still friends.
Yeah.
Let's learn to do that.
Okay.
And then let's also find alternative. While we do that, let's negotiate our way forward. If they think now they can retract and give us the money, look, it is a loan, my brother, with high interest.
Yeah.
And then look, let's protect our culture. Let's protect this culture and this religion that has kept us together, formed our foundations.
I'll give you a chance to wrap up on your thoughts regarding this issue, but let's take a quick break. When we are back, we'll continue the conversation. All right, welcome back. It's still the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily, and my guest here in studio are Paul Eric Ofori from COPEC and Kabutey Ocansey, Jeffrey Kabutey Ocansey from Revenue Mobilization Africa. Now, we're having a conversation about the impasse that's going on between the president and the Speaker of Parliament, and we're looking at the possible fallout from that. Now, Mr. Ocansey was giving his thoughts before we went for a break. We'll have him continue and wrap up for us. Yes.
And you know, the impression is created as if those who are claimed to be the torchbearers of democracy and rights and everything, as if they will lose nothing. They have something to lose. They also come here, when they trade with us, they take our gold and our cocoa. They have multinational enterprises in Ghana. We have hosted them beautifully. As host countries, we've played our role. You see, as home countries, they've also played their role. We have a trade going on. If friendship will end, let it end. They also have something to lose. Do they have cocoa there? How much of gold and lithium do they have? Let the friendship end nicely. We have other ways we can play with them.
We can still do business.
Yes, we can still do tourism and everything. Let's do the rest. And let's if they won't do at all, that's okay. Like the Nigerian song, no do, no do. No do. If it's a no do, let's not do it. Because you see, I'm saying protect your culture and protect your religion. These are the things that have formed us. And this is who we are. If you can't play with that right from the word go, let us not do it at all. And then finally, look, you see, that statement, don't always go to friends, cap in hand. They say, that is where we are. You are begging too much. And look, somebody will say, oh, what? I'm so angry this morning because even the loans, when we bring it, go and look at Sogolemi. Yeah. Is that what we are talking about? The loans are when they go and take, we see corruption around it. The loans are when they take it, they don't properly target it. The loans that come with stalled projects, that they leave it for years, that we are having interest piled on it. That's why we are scared that it won't come again. If that is the only way we can develop, then we are in trouble. Look, let's industrialize. We have the raw materials. My sad point is that it baffles me how individuals are able to convince Ghanaians to take their money under scams and chop that money. And then the state has to come in again. Right? And then the state cannot convince these same Ghanaians to come and put their money in a business like Ghana Consolidated Gold or Ghana something lithium. Why didn't we, government fund, for us to have that lithium agreement and do it? We were the only wonderful country in 2008, ahead of 2008, in 2006, 2007. We were using, do you know that our state institutions are the ones that do all the prospecting? We do the prospecting, we have the documents, and then we take it out there to go and look at for foreign direct investors.
GNPC.
Oh, so we don't have money? We don't have money here. We don't. And then individuals are able to raise huge monies and chop it for us to go and fight and go and take it back. Why can't we just invest in and participate fully? At least, if for nothing at all, for the last one we found, lithium. Nothing. Every day we wrote government participation, individual participation, we should fund it from the state. Look, I don't want to see FDI and be happy. I want to see LDI, local direct investment into oil sector. When it comes to local investment, then we are coming to give exemptions, $449 million. To people we don't even know. For all the years that we have granted exemptions, you are a media person, I'm a CSO person. They are wonderful people in academia. If we are called this morning, our government has pumped exemptions into the business arena with the expectation that they will create employment. Also, the companies would actually pay company income tax when they have expanded to the fullest. Those one district, one factory that are expected to receive this money, where is their record to show that the first supports that government gave to them?
Yeah.
They have something to show.
All right.
Okay, Kwaku, to wrap up, you see, there's a quote from Barack Obama that says, each nation gives life to democracy in its own way and in line with its own tradition. Today, as we speak, Bloomberg has reported that U.S. bans, the hoisting of LGBTQ plus flags at their embassies all across.
Really?
I'm telling you now, you can check. I can forward the story to you.
Wow.
It's been banned. And here you are, when you met the diplomatic circle, when you came in as president, you stated that Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is something you are going to pursue and pursue vigorously in the presence of all. And we all cheered and applauded you for that because you are a man of your word. Mr. President, be a man of your word. Accept the bill. There is no harm in accepting the bill. Let whatever punishment goes to Parliament, if there is any. But accept the bill. If you do not have whatever information that you have to assent, write back to Parliament that by virtue of XYZ, you cannot assent. But receive the bill and let the world know that you have received the bill. That is all we are asking.
Okay.
So that this impasse between you and the Parliament could be resolved. Look, if you are not careful, that will be a complete shutdown of the economy. Because believe you me, it is Parliament that needs to approve whatever the government needs to do. And here you are having an issue with your legislative arm of government. How do you go ahead with anything? All right? So please, Mr. President, accept the bill. Nothing whatsoever will happen if you accept the bill. And let whatever punishment that will come at the end of the day go to Parliament. Because at the end of the day, you do not have any injunction on you receiving the bill. The injunction was to Parliament and not the President. Thank you.
Wow. Okay.